Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Spice. My name is Blake.
And my name is Angel, and if this is your first time watching, welcome. We are a variety show, but not really, because mainly the things that we talk about are just sex and relationships. And when you listen to our show, you get two very unprofessional opinions on sex and relationships.
So if you'd like to submit your questions or want some advice, you can send them to thespicepodcastofficial at gmail.com.
There we go. So I guess we usually just kind of jump right into it because there's not much else to say besides that. So,
yes.
This is episode 9.
Episode 9.
We've been doing this for more than 2 months now.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
1/4.
Yeah. And thank you to all of you guys who are listening. We have officially streamed 3,000 times on Spotify, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was a little milestone message that I got. So
1,000?
3,000.
3,000. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You're a little tired, aren't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. I have been sick last couple days.
Yeah, we've both been sick. So sorry if we sound a little nasally, if we're like sniffling. We'll try to keep that at a minimum. I might have to crop out some coughing but we're on like the tail end of it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting better, but
yeah.
Anyway, so just thank you all for all of you who are watching on YouTube and streaming on Spotify. I have gotten some questions about when we'll be on Apple Podcasts. I'm working on it. I created an account and then got the account was like on lockdown for a 72-hour period and whatever. It doesn't really matter, but we're working on it is the whole point.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're embracing December.
Yeah.
If you're watching the video.
Yeah, if you're not watching the video, I am wearing a ugly Christmas sweater with a bodybuilder Santa on it and a little necklace that has what is this called?
A candy cane?
A candy cane. A little necklace. A necklace has a candy cane and earrings that are snowflakes.
Nice.
And Blake didn't have anything festive, so I gave him
a hat.
This Santa hat.
I have a Santa hat.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing green and maroon.
But stay tuned because our episode that's closer to Christmas, we're going to do something. We're going to wear something. I haven't decided yet.
Something.
But we're going to wear something festive.
We have ideas.
Yeah.
And ideas for topics.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe Christmas related family drama.
Yeah, I actually do have a topic, but we don't have to get into that. Okay.
Moving on.
All right, let's just move on. So, episode 9, the title of this episode is What's the Deal with Masturbation?
What's the deal?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you guys don't already know, Blake never hears these beforehand. And I usually only read them once right before we start filming. So it's kind of like blind reactions to everything that we do on here.
Yep.
Okay. So we had someone write in and she said, "Hello, this podcast has been great. And I love the focus on healthy communication and understanding your partner." So thank you very much for saying that. We really appreciate those words. She says, "I'm curious if you've done a segment yet on masturbation and what it's like in a committed relationship. Is it something that you guys still engage in? How does it play into things when there's also a healthy sexual relationship or connection happening? Has there been times where just one partner masturbates but the other doesn't? Thank you." So I think what this person is asking is about if masturbation when you're in a committed relationship is healthy. I think that's generally kind of what she's like
healthy?
asking. Yeah, I think that she's just asking for our opinions on if that's okay in a committed relationship. And why don't I just let you talk because I've been blabbing on. But
well, yeah, I mean, as far as whether or not it's healthy, I'm not a doctor, I couldn't say, but if it's okay with you and your partner, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's other things that you could say is okay but would actually not be healthy.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you and your partner agree that it's okay, then yeah, totally it's okay.
She says, "I'm curious if you've done a segment on masturbation, what that's like in a committed relationship." So I think that there's a few like subtopics here, and I'm just going to apologize. I don't think that anyone will be able to hear this, but Charlie is like
snoring. He's
snoring in my lap right now, and he's like under my laptop here. And so if you hear the little wheezing, it's my dog snoring. I don't think that anyone's going to be able to hear it, but I just have to mention in case. He'll probably wake up soon. Anyway, she's asking what that's like in a committed relationship. And I think that it just varies so much from person to person. But what I will say is obviously masturbation is normal. It's something that most every single person does, most people do it. Animals, humans, like everyone does that. I don't think that it's abnormal to have a desire to masturbate. What I will say is that when you are in a committed and monogamous relationship, you don't want masturbation to take away from your sexual relationship with your partner.
Energy.
Yeah.
Your sexual energy with your partner.
Yeah. And that's not to say that you can't or that you shouldn't, because I would never say that at all. But I think that once you've been in a relationship for a little while, sometimes it feels like easier just to go lock yourself in a room and take a couple seconds to like masturbate versus doing the work to make that connection with your partner. Sex isn't always just as easy as it is when you first start dating someone. Like, it does become something that you have to kind of cultivate and build, and something that you have to kind of keep alive, and that takes effort. While it's nice to sometimes be able to not take effort and just go take a couple minutes to enjoy yourself, it's also really important to just make sure that that's not actively sucking the life out of your sex life with your partner. If you're able to maintain a healthy balance, and I guess that's also separate, is that healthy is going to look different from person to person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult. It varies.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a one size fits all or just, yes or no. But I like your answer. I think making sure that the sexual energy is still between you guys and you're not just neglecting your partner intimately in that aspect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And a good way to know whether you're neglecting your partner is to open up the conversation about it and talk to your partner about it.
Yeah.
I also think it's important to touch on this topic too. I mean, we talk about porn in so many of our episodes, but I think that also a lot of people kind of think that porn and masturbation are synonymous, because masturbation is an action that a lot of people use porn to fulfill that action. Right. Yeah. But masturbation and porn are not synonymous. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, a lot of women especially, will say, well, I really don't feel comfortable with my boyfriend or husband watching porn. And then the boyfriend or husband will be like, oh, but masturbation is normal, not really being able to separate the fact that porn and masturbation are two different things. Yeah. And so I think that that's also, I don't know if that's why she's writing it or what, but I think that it's also important for people to remember that masturbation can be done behind a closed door with nothing but yourself.
Yeah. And it's probably healthier. Yeah. I mean, we know that it's healthier. There's studies
that have been going on for 20 years now are finally being released on the effects of porn on the brain. Yeah. And I think that there are some experts that say that it's like one of the worst things for you. There are some that say it's not bad at all, and then there's some in the middle. Mm-hmm. And you can find sources on anything. But I think the main question is, are you going to that instead of going to your partner for connection? Yeah. So I think personally, you're allowed to disagree with me, but I think personally a good rule of thumb would be, if you're feeling like you're in the mood, go to your partner first. If your partner is not in the mood or doesn't want to engage, then at that point, go masturbate. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And it shouldn't be an issue, but also just talk to your partner about it. Right. Not that they should have control over whether or not you masturbate, because that is fully and completely something that you do on your own time, privately, and I don't think that anyone should ever tell you not to do that. Yeah. I don't think that you should, my opinion again, I don't think that it's healthy for one person in a relationship to tell another person, you can't be masturbating or you shouldn't be masturbating. Yeah. But I think that it's valid to say, hey, I would request that you come to me first, because if you're in the mood, maybe I am too, and then we can both have fun.
Now I have a question. Yeah. Can someone be in the mood but not in the mood to connect with their partner?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but that's also goes hand in hand with what I just said, connecting with your partner takes effort. Yeah. So if you're in the mood for an orgasm, but you're not in the mood to do the work to connect with your partner, right? I don't know. Should you even have to tell your partner? I don't feel like you should even have to share with your partner if you're masturbating. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are outlying scenarios. For example, when someone has a sex addiction, it's really common in recovery that for sex addiction, you refrain from any kind of orgasm, like for a while. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm not a professional, so I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot of people will say, well, when you have a sex addiction, basically first you have to kind of like dry out, or whatever you would call it, the equivalent to like an alcoholic, right? So first you would have a period of complete sobriety. But even sex addicts should get healthy and fulfilling sex lives. So then they have to start introducing things back. But for a while, it's no masturbation whatsoever. There's no masturbation, there's no sex, there's no kissing or things that could be lead to something erotic, right? But for your everyday person who's not a sex addict, then I don't think that you should have to tell anyone when you're masturbating. When you're alone in a room, that's you, that's your body, it's your own like personal choice, but you have to balance that with connection with your partner.
Okay, my understanding was that you were saying that if you do want to, then you should talk to your partner. But now it sounds like you don't have, like, you don't think that you should. If
you want an orgasm, then I mean, why not go to your partner?
What if you don't want to have that experience with your partner? What if you want to have it with yourself?
I think that that's perfectly valid. However, I don't think that it should be that's how it is all the time. I don't think that that should just be how it is all the time, if that makes sense, right? It's valid to have that every once in a while where you just are feeling lazy and you just want to do what you want to do and you want to explore your own body. I think that that's totally fine. I think that it's normal. I think it's natural. When you are in a relationship, it just shouldn't be that that's all you ever do. And then you're never interacting sexually with your partner because you're doing this over here. Totally, and you're tapped out for the day. And so then your partner is suffering because of it.
You're neglecting them.
Exactly. But what does neglect look like? Well, it varies from person to person.
Yeah. So, the partner needs to be able to come talk to you and tell you that they feel neglected.
Yeah.
Now, what if everything is fulfilling in that aspect? And, let's say someone has a really high drive. As long as the other partner feels fulfilled in that, then it's whatever, right? It's the person with the high drives, like,
I know what you're saying. You're basically saying as long as the lower desire partner is like feeling fulfilled sexually, then the higher desire partner should go do whatever they want. I don't know. People should just do what they want. But the key here, I think, is communication with your partner.
Yeah.
This is something that you should be discussing, not in the moment with your partner, not like, hey, I want to go masturbate.
Right.
You cool with that? Like, we shouldn't need to talk about that in the moment. But these are things that a lot of us get into relationships and we don't really think about
talking about.
Yeah. Like, you don't think, especially in the beginning, you're just like, you're having sex 3 times a day. You're like, this is great. I'm so high. I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Like, sex is like a really touchy subject, and it's something that you should be discussing about outside of when things are happening.
Yeah.
Having the conversation ongoing.
Yeah.
Would be the most important part.
Yeah. And it always boils down to having a conversation.
Yeah, it always boils down to having conversation. But yeah, I mean, I think the gist of it is that your body is your body and you should be able to do what you want with your body. And in the same breath, when you're in a healthy, connected relationship, then you prepare for these weird one-off situations by talking to your partner, taking their feelings into consideration, expressing your feelings, and hopefully it's like hopefully you're in a healthy relationship where you can be open and honest, and you're both able to just say how you feel and not feel ashamed or embarrassed by it.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know if this is really answering the questions, but I hope that it's giving a little bit of clarity. It says, are there times when just one partner masturbates and the other doesn't? Sure. I think that you have to find out also what your partner is comfortable with. For example, I personally wouldn't want to be like laying in bed next to you while you're masturbating and I'm just like trying to sleep.
Yeah.
But some people are like, do your thing, I'm conking out.
Yeah.
Right. No one is ever on the same time frame, right? Like, you're going to feel like you're in the mood sometimes and I'm not going to be there at all, and vice versa.
Yep.
And so I think that that's totally fine. Yeah, it's fine for you to like masturbate and your partner not masturbate.
Yeah.
If you want to include your partner, you can give them the option, be like, hey, hey, I feel like I'm in the mood and I would love to have your participation if you're willing to like lay there and kiss me and whatever.
You had a lot to say. Sorry. I was trying to probe questions. I didn't say too much on that topic.
I'm sorry.
I don't have a lot to say. You know what I mean? I just, I like hearing what you have to say about it. It was me concluding my statement. What do we have next, Angel?
I can't even think straight. I just am like, I'm sick.
But we out here trying to spread the gospel.
I'm trying to make a podcast for these people.
Making the podcast. The Sex Podcast Official. The official sex podcast of the NFL.
What?
The official sex podcast of CNN and Fox.
All right.
No, I'm done.
Just, yeah, simmer down. That Santa hat is going straight to the brain.
It's these balls. They're in my face. Santa's balls.
Ho, ho, ho. Let's move on. So the next one says, do I, 42 male, owe my wife, 40 female, an apology? Probably.
Let's be real, but no, let's not have any. Let's remain neutral.
Fuck. Okay. All right. Do I, 42 male, owe my wife, 40 female, an apology? I'm not sure if I owe my wife an apology, and I'd like some input. I feel bad that she got angry, but I don't feel sorry for saying something true about something she knows has been bothering me. I usually try to respond respectfully and keep angry opinions to myself until I calm down enough to speak rationally. But our sex life started going to shit the moment we got home from the honeymoon. 17 years ago. Earlier today, I was stretching after I got home from work. She said it looked like I was trying to give myself head. So I responded, I don't have anyone willing to help me with this problem, so I'm trying to build up enough flexibility so I can start having blowjobs again. She says that I get plenty of blowjobs, which is a lie. For context, she's done it twice during foreplay for less than 30 seconds in the last year. The last full blowjob was when she was pregnant with our son, who's about to turn 7. She gives me emotionless sex a couple times a month and participates in it 3 to 4 times a year. I've tried discussing with her that I miss foreplay, blowjobs, handjobs, and intimacy, and asked what I can do better and what turns her on, but she always says that I'm not the problem and she just doesn't want sex anymore because she outgrew being interested. Before I proposed, it was 4 to 5 times a week, and she was very enthusiastic. At least one blowjob during her period and handjobs to help me out. After I proposed, it slowed down to 2 to 3 times a week, but I assumed that it was due to the stress of planning a wedding, and after the wedding it decreased to 1 to 2 times a week, but at least it was fun half of the time. Now I just feel like a chore and I don't know how to cope with the sadness. I love her too much to leave her and get it elsewhere. I'm sorry for the long vent. I mostly just want to know if I was out of line and should apologize, even if it's not genuine. Or maybe you could convince me that I should feel bad about it so I can give a genuine apology. I've tried talking to her and she starts fighting and telling me that she doesn't want to anymore. I'd love to talk to a therapist, but I can't afford it.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, I mean, that comment was...
What comment?
What he said.
Oh, about how he's trying to get flexible enough to take... What did he say? Sorry, I have to read this again.
Yeah.
He said, I don't have anyone willing to help me with this problem, so I'm trying to build up enough flexibility so I can start having blowjobs again.
Yeah, it's pretty snarky. Like, pretty... It wasn't a funny joke. It was... it sounded like you were taking a jab at her. So yeah, I mean, I'd feel pretty bummed out if I was, in her shoes, right? Mm-hmm. And like maybe I'm having some self-image problems. Maybe I wish that I could do this, or I felt more interested or more, had higher desire. And now I'm feeling bad that I don't. Mm-hmm. And then when I hear a comment like that, I feel even worse. It sucks. And I don't think humans just outgrow sex.
Yeah.
For a long time. 40 isn't old.
Yeah. No.
I don't really buy that.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to know what kind of things you do for her instead of just like saying, hey, what can I do? Yeah. Because nobody wants to be told. Nobody wants to have to tell someone how to like do something for them. Like, it's okay to ask. I feel like it shouldn't be every time, and it definitely should be something that you take initiative on. It should be
okay to ask what?
Ask your partner what they like, or what they
ask your partner what you like. What they like.
What they would want from you, maybe.
Yeah.
Preferably not when you're trying to do it. Maybe afterward, or like, another time, right? When you guys can maybe just talk about it and there's not this pressure, like when she doesn't feel pressure to have to do something, or you're like putting pressure on her, or nagging her to do something, but to have a conversation about what she might like. How often are you doing things? You know what I mean? His language makes it sound a lot like she's supposed to just be doing things for him all the time.
Yeah, like it's her job.
Like it's her job.
He said, I tried discussing with her that I miss foreplay, blowjobs, handjobs, and intimacy. So what's foreplay to him?
Yeah.
And what's intimacy? There's, like we always say, there's so many different areas of intimacy. It's not sexual intimacy is only one type of intimacy.
Yes.
So when you say intimacy, do you guys not laugh and play together? Do you not like cook together or go on walks and do things physically together? Do you play games to stimulate your like mental capacity together? Do you learn new things together? Like, are you vulnerable emotionally? Do you have emotional intimacy? Like, so when you say you miss intimacy, is that just not in the relationship at all? And if you have no intimacy in any way, shape, or form, and you're not having sex, and you're like angry and you're resentful of your partner, why are you still with them at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Are you just still with your partner just because you've been with your partner? Or are you actively still choosing to be with your partner because you want to, and you just need to do work on some of those areas of intimacy? I don't know.
He says he loves her so much he couldn't fathom cheating on her.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that I will say, though, is also that he said that he misses foreplay. This is something that is a huge topic because the way that a lot of men view foreplay is so different from how women actually experience foreplay. Generally, I'm generalizing because it's like the majority, but obviously everyone's different. But a lot of men tend to think that foreplay is what you do right before the penis goes in the vagina.
Yeah.
What you do right before that.
Right.
Like the 5 minutes before that.
Right.
The kissing and the fondling and the pinching of the nipples and the slapping of the butt cheeks. You know, like they think that that's the foreplay. Or maybe grabbing her ass when she's walking by and then like winking. And then you're like, oh, let's go get it on. Like a lot of men tend to think that that's what foreplay is. But when we're talking about foreplay in the way that women tend to experience it, women's desire and their eroticism like grows. So the way that women experience it isn't just like a light switch. It's more like a snowball.
Ah, yes. Okay.
And so when we think of foreplay, we want to think way far ahead. You want that snowball to start building earlier in the day. You want to roll it down the hill nice and slowly. So when we think about foreplay, we think about every morning you come and you give me a kiss before you go to work, right?
Yeah.
We want to think about these little things that you do to connect with your partner throughout the day, making little remarks about how beautiful or how handsome they are, giving a little neck rub while they're making their daily coffee, like these little physical connections that you can make with your partner throughout the day. So it's not like nothing all day and then bam, let's get it on at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I think that that's something that's important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't apply to every single person, but when you're in a relationship with someone for 17 years like this, they've been together for such a long time.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to kind of stop putting in that effort throughout the day because it does take effort. And then at the end of the night, you're like, I'm horny and I just want to have an orgasm. So I'm just going to want stuff from you, even though I didn't really give you that foreplay that you needed throughout the day of like, you know, caressing you as you walk by or like giving you a beautiful, like romantic kiss and then just walking away, right? Like these things that you can do to make her want you throughout the day, kind of like teasing for women, and we love that shit. Like I'm not saying that that's not happening.
Sure.
Obviously we only have the information we have, but I just wanted to mention
I like that. Yeah. Honestly, I've never actually heard that.
Yeah.
You know, but if I had to guess between the two choices that you presented of like what foreplay, you know, is for women.
Yeah.
A light switch or a snowball. I can see that. I can understand that. And yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it and really helpful. Could be really helpful for a lot of people in their relationships who want to make
more action,
make their partner happy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I said get more action, but obviously you want to make your partner more happy and fulfilled sexually so that they can also reciprocate, and then it can be like this beautiful give and take. But anyway, I guess the question was, does he owe his wife an apology for what he said?
I would.
You would owe her an apology?
I would.
I'm just teasing. That was so bitchy. You would?
You would like to apologize to his wife, wouldn't you?
I bet you would. You would like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if I was in your shoes, I would apologize. Just hands down. Yeah. I just I'm imagining being your wife. It sounds so weird to say that.
It's okay.
I'm imagining being your wife.
You're putting yourself in her shoes.
I'm putting myself in her shoes. That comment I feel like would have hurt me.
Yeah.
I would have liked an apology, a sincere apology. And in order for an apology to be sincere, you have to understand why you're apologizing. If you're just doing it just to make her feel
placated,
better, placated, don't know what that means,
Sorry.
but I like it. if you're trying to make her feel placated, she can tell. Women have intuition, very strong and good intuition.
strong and goodly.
I feel like Donald Trump. Very strong and very good intuition. Women have the best. And she can feel it, right? Yeah. So it has to be genuine. You have to understand why you're apologizing. And maybe what we've said will help you understand why you should apologize.
Also, sorry.
Also what?
Also, I feel like you don't say something like that. You don't take a little jab like that unless there's some kind of resentment there.
Yeah.
And obviously with everything that he wrote, he's like, we used to do it 4 times a day and now we do it once or twice a week. Once or twice a week is still pretty damn good. Like most married couples do it less often than that.
Well, and they have kids, right?
Yes. And they have kids.
That's another thing to consider.
And also, it's not even about the quantity.
Right.
Like when you start to place this emphasis on like, we used to do it 4 times a week and now we only do it once a week.
Yeah.
Is that once a week feeling connecting? Is it feeling like rejuvenating? Does it feel like you're having this special intimate time with your partner, and is it making you happy? Are you enjoying it? I think those are the questions that are more important. But I got off on a tangent. So I was just gonna say he's obviously resentful of what's happening because he feels like he's not able to physically connect with his wife as often as he wants to.
Yeah.
And it's been going on since they got married, according to him. You can't just hold on to resentment like that and just expect that it's not going to leach out at little jabs to your partner.
Yeah.
You just, you can't just hold on to that resentment and not expect that it's going to cause fights. So you got to talk to your partner about it.
Yeah.
Tell her how you're feeling and make some changes in the way that you're treating her throughout the day and see if that helps.
Yeah.
Just think about foreplay as starting from the time you wake up, the time you go to sleep, and it's just constantly building, and it's these little things that kind of get added up all throughout the day, and I think that could be helpful.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
My nose is just running. It's like Niagara Falls over here.
Wow.
That's disgusting. It's not that bad. Okay. I immediately regretted saying that.
Viagra Falls.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. Those are the 2 submissions. So we'll end the episode with our cards.
Yep.
This is always my favorite part. I want to do an episode where we literally just pull cards back and forth.
Just do cards?
Just because it's fun.
You can do that.
All right. Would you like to pull a card first?
Yeah, I'll pull first.
Or would you like me to pull a card first?
You can pull a card first.
Okay. All right. Let's go here. And it says, what do you think is our most informative way of communicating with each other and why? You and I.
Our most informative way?
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
With our words? I mean, we're pretty good at talking to each other. I mean, we have good nonverbal communication. We can look at each other. We do. I feel like I can have a whole conversation with you just by looking in your eyes. Yeah, right.
Like a whole ass conversation.
Right, yeah. Especially if we're at like an event or like there's family around.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's like the closest to twin telepathy that I think I'll ever experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun.
Is that informative though?
Sure it is. I mean, it's information.
Okay.
We're communicating information.
All right. So our most informative way of communicating with each other is with our eyes.
Well, it's words first.
Okay.
With our mouths.
Wait.
With our mouths.
Okay. I guess I'm not going to try to control the way that you are answering the question.
Yeah. Do you have any thing to say?
I said, what do you think is our most informative way of communicating and why? Yeah. And you said, with our words. But I think that's the way that everyone communicates is with words.
Yeah. Okay. So how?
Oh, wait, I don't know. Why don't I pull a different question? I don't like this one.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to pull a different one. Confess something you would change about me.
Something I would change about you?
Mm-hmm. You can be brutally honest.
No periods ever again.
Oh, come on. That's a cop-out answer.
Bullshit.
That's a cop-out answer. I wanted something juicy.
What?
Me as a person.
As a person, people have uteri.
Yeah, I know. I want another one.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Moving on.
Okay. So you would take away my periods.
I'd take away your periods, both for me and for you, right?
For you?
I would feel good.
You would feel good?
I would feel good. Here's the thing. There wouldn't be that time of the month where I get to like do things for you where you're like super extra grateful.
When I'm on my period.
Yeah.
You like taking care of me when I'm on my period?
Well, yeah, I like the way you show gratitude for it.
Yeah.
And I like making you feel good when you feel bad. And on the flip side, you wouldn't feel like crap every month.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win-win.
Win-win-win. Your turn.
Okay.
I'm so bad at fanning this out. Hang on. I'm going to pre-fan.
Okay.
These are really like chunked up. These are like chunked up all on each other.
They're all bricked up on each other.
They're bricked up.
Would you feel comfortable if your partner went on a boys/girls trip?
A boys/girls, like if you went on a boys trip?
Probably if I went on a boys trip.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, you have.
Yeah, like two
times?
2 years ago. Oh.
Just once, I feel like.
Like a year?
Oh, a couple years. Well, when your buddy got married.
Yeah, was it last September?
I feel it was longer than that.
That was only 2 months ago. 3 months ago. It was a year and 3 months ago. Wow, time flies.
The thing is that I know that I wouldn't have anything to worry about because I feel like we've developed such great communication. Like, I think if it were a year, 2 years ago, I would probably feel a little bit more uneasy about it. At this point, I trust that if there was anything that I should be concerned about, that you would be telling me about it. I just feel like you would.
Yep.
I really do. Yeah. I wouldn't really have any. I would be jealous that you got to go on a trip.
Yeah.
I got to be stuck here. But, But other than that, I wouldn't really take much issue in it. I would probably text you every day and be like, if any bitches try to get on your dick, send them my way and I'll fuck them up. Because, that's how I am.
Yeah. I was going to say, it depends where, right?
Yeah.
Boys trip to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
We're going to hike down in there. We're going to camp. We're going to hike out. Boys. Oh.
What?
Or boys trip to Vegas.
Sin City.
For a buddy's bachelor party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it definitely would. Yeah, it definitely would make a difference. But also, like, I think that the type of friends that you're with makes a huge difference too, because it's like, I don't feel like you're friends with anyone who's going to try and like pressure you to like do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Or even that you're friends with people who are going to be like, let's all go cheat on our wives. Like, all your buddies are married.
Yeah.
And they're not really the kind of guys who are like, let's all go hire prostitutes and do cocaine.
They're not.
Like, and so even in Vegas, I feel like you all would just be hanging out with each other. You'd be playing on blackjack and you'd be drinking and you'd just be having a good time. And that's what I want for you. Like, I want you to have a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't really take issue with it. If it was a while back, I probably would have had a different answer, but yeah, I have total faith in you.
All right, cool. I'll accept that answer.
All right. Well, that's it. I feel sad to end the episode because I'm actually kind of having fun right now. To you guys, we appreciate that you guys are here sitting through this and listening. And again, sorry if we sound a little nasally. We're just getting over being sick, but we'll be back to 100% next week.
Tip top.
But for now, that concludes today's episode. And we appreciate you all being here.
Yeah, big time. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got some useful advice too.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions or submissions, anything that you want us to answer or react to, or even just topics that you want us to cover, or even just tips on what you'd like our podcast to be more like, if you have any suggestions, anything like that, email us, thespicepodcastofficial@gmail.com. I always put it in the description box. If it's on YouTube or Spotify, it's going to be in the explanation of this episode. So you can go copy and paste there if you would like to. And we respond really quickly. So we'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Stay merry.
Stay merry.
Stay hairy. And most of all,
stay spicy.
Yes, stay spicy.
All right, you guys. All right. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Stay merry, stay hairy, and stay spicy.
I was trying to think of another thing that rhymed with hairy, and then you said spicy, and I was like,